Hey there, geeks. Adam here. I went to some antique stores today, picked up some comics. I wanted to show you what I found, okay? This has been kind of interesting. I loved to go in back issue bins as a kid, just finding old stuff from decades gone by, and when I saw this, I had to grab it. Marvel Comics, The Scarecrow, okay? All new, Marvel's #1 shock star, okay? So this is all about the birth of this character named the Scarecrow, who basically comes out of a painting, and there's some cult that worships the painting. It is a mess of a story. I can see why it didn't carry on into anything major, although I would love to see the Scarecrow team up with Ragman from DC Comics. All right, staying in the 70s monster hero vein, yes, Creatures on the Loose featuring Man-Wolf. A moon beast on the prowl again, okay? So yeah, this was an interesting look at what John Jameson was doing back at this time, but that outfit, man, that outfit. Now next up here, I got a couple issues of, yes, Adventure into Fear with the man called Morbius, the living vampire. Didn't rush out to see this in theaters, but I wanted to see what a Morbius book in his original incarnation would look like. So I'm very interested to read those. For those of you who listen to the Rob Observations podcast, recently he was talking about these comics that you'll never see again because they are, the licensing and all those things involved is complicated. Well, X-Men and the Micronauts is one of those. This was specifically mentioned. I actually have the first issue that I got, so finding this one today, I was like, ooh, more of the story. Don't mind if I do. Also here, yes, the end of The Thing, featuring She-Hulk versus the new Miss Marvel. I loved picking up old issues of The Thing back in the day when he became a professional wrestler and all of that, and add She-Hulk into the mix, and that's just a lot of fun. Mixing it up with the new Miss Marvel, Sharon Ventura. Now check this out, guys. Couple issues of What The. If you never read What The, it was basically Mad Magazine for Marvel, or I was more into Cracked. But just that parody sensibility, if you add that to my love of comics, and I mean, it's just so much fun to be had in these pages. And a lot of times the big artists would actually do some gags in there. Also here, Heroes Return Captain America with Mark Waid and Ron Garney returning to the book after you had the whole deal. But I just think this is such a strange fold out right here. Captain America with Half-Baked. If you remember that movie. Of course, it is useful on the inside, but yeah, again, Half-Baked and Captain America doesn't seem like he'd be down for that. All right, now let's move into some DC comics, because I also bought a lot of DC Comics back issues in the 90s as a kid. So look at this one here. Justice League of America meeting up with the Justice Society, but also the Secret Society of Supervillains. I mean, there is a lot of characters in this book. But what's also fun is it is George Perez down here. He probably did the breakdowns because it says Keith Pollard, Jerry Conway, and George Perez. So I think that's going to be a fun story to check out. But look at this. Batman just bashing Superman in the face. That is very obviously a Neil Adams cover. But I look at this. Kryptonite gloves? Is this Frank Miller's inspiration for The Dark Knight Returns? I mean, doesn't it kind of feel like that would be very similar to what was going on there? So anyway, some very interesting stories to be told within. I always loved the Superman annuals. They always did such interesting stories because I was never really up for just a straight Superman. But when you start adding, like, look, the Golden Age Superman with Superman, that's pretty interesting because this is 82, so this is before Crisis on Infinite Earths. Plus you got Luthor with and without hair. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Next up here, DC Comics Presents with Superman and Hawkman. The reason I wanted to grab this is I have a DC Comics Presents where he is teaming up with Shazam, Captain Marvel, to face Black Adam. And now in the Black Adam movie, Hawkman's in there, all this stuff. So I'll be interested to see if anybody refers to some older Hawkman adventures. But look at this one. Another DC Comics Presents with Superman, Robin, and the Elongated Man. A triple threat adventure. That's just fun. But Superman looks a little devious here, don't you think? Who's doing the art on this one? Let me check this out. Okay. Oh, so it's Mike Barr. What do you know? That's pretty cool. And Kurt Swan is the penciler. So that's wow, that's a classic artist working on it. Now this one I had to grab. Look at this right here, guys. Superman and the Elastic Four. All right, so you got Plastic Man, you got the Elongated Man, you got Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen with his powers, but who is this guy up here? That's what I gotta know. I want to find out who this other stretchy character might have been. But the Elastic Four, oh, that is just fantastic. Just fun DC Comics. That's what I'm up for. Speaking of fun DC Comics, I did find the first issue of Hitman. We are going to be covering Hitman on an upcoming mini episode with at Charlton_hero. If you want to follow him on Twitter, get connected with him. So I wanted to pick up some physical issues. Specifically, actually, we're going to be talking about this 10,000 Bullets arc. So there was only these 2 issues from that, but it was fun to get physical copies. And also happening at this time, we had Image Comics happening. This is a little bit later, but Image and Mars Attacks, Image, that is just a super fun concept in there. I'm excited to read these and review them for a mini episode someday. And I also, another little Image event here, The Darkness and Pit. And if you look here, it says the first Pit comic in a decade? Wow, that is a long time coming, isn't it? There you go. And what's interesting up here, Comic Book Resources says, an exciting, eye-popping read, and Keown's art alone makes the book well worth the price of admission. So this is his return to comics. What year was this? Let's check it out here, guys. Let's see what it tells us. Oh, yeah, 2009. So there it is. 1999 was Keown's last comic. Wild. And finally here, we are in the midst of Heroes Reborn on the podcast, talking about that history. And of course, in the aftermath of Heroes Reborn, the Fighting American. I can't wait to open this up, but that will have to wait for a later date. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this comics haul that was a little bit more varied, but very indicative of what I personally would have picked up in the 90s as I was kind of looking around. So, until next time, keep your books bagged and boarded.